Hello again. To pick up where we ended, let's come to SWE.3, and the process name is Software Detailed Design and Unit Construction. The purpose of this particular process is to provide an evaluated detailed design of the software components and to specify produce the software units. Now let me give you an analogy of a building. First you decide where is the bedroom, where is the bathroom, where is the drawing room, etc. And then you further go into the detail of designing the bedroom. What are the various cupboards, where do you put your bed, in which direction do you place your bed, in which direction would you place your reading desk, where do you put the dressing table, etc., etc. Likewise, once the architecture is completed, you go into the design of the unit construction. Okay, let's further elaborate. As a result of the successful implementation process, what are the various process outcomes? As a result of this, the detailed design is developed that describes software units, and interfaces of each software unit are defined. Interfaces of each software unit are designed, and next the dynamic behavior of software units is also defined, and of course the consistency and bidirectional traceability. Next comes the important part. The software detailed design and relationship to the software architectural design is agreed and communicated to affect all the affected parties. Okay, I am sure you by now you understood that communication is by default a given step in all the SIS1, SIS2, SIS3, including the SWE1, SWE2, SWE3 steps. Next comes the software units are defined by software detailed design or produced. You understand this sentence carefully. Software units defined by software detailed design or produced. So the units are prepared based on the design of the software. Now what are the base practices? What are the base practices? First let's see the first base practices. PP1, develop software detailed design. Develop a detailed design for each software component defined in the software architectural design that specifies all software units with respect to functional and non-functional software requirements. Okay, now these functional and non-functional requirements are extremely important. You need to clearly categorize what are the functional requirement and what is the non-functional requirement. Alright, now come to the base practice 2. It clearly defines the interfaces of the software units. Now identifying the interfaces, how exactly one software unit is interacting with the other software unit. Now this is where the interface comes into picture. Next comes the dynamic behavior, understanding the dynamic behavior in the various working conditions, in the various transient conditions. Next comes the base practice 4, where you evaluate the software detailed design. You evaluate the software detailed design in the terms of interoperability, interaction, criticality, technical complexity, risk and testability. Now each and every word is extremely important. Interoperability, interaction, criticality, technical complexity, risk and testability. Next comes of course the establishing the bidirectional traceability. Okay, establishing the bidirectional traceability between the software requirements and the software units. Establish bidirectional traceability between the software architectural design and the software detailed. Establish the bidirectional traceability between the software detailed design and software units. Next is ensure consistency. Okay, consistency between the software requirements and software units. This is something which I touched upon in the previous video in SWE2 also. Okay, so consistency is very important. Next is the communication. Communicate the agreed software detailed design and updates to software detailed design to all the relevant parties. To all the relevant parties. So who are all the relevant parties? Your programmer, your software developer, your AutoSAR developer, your stack developer, all these are your relevant parties, and they need to clearly agree upon this software detailed design. And finally comes the development of software units. develop and document the executable representation of each software unit according to software detailed design. So this documentation, documenting the executable representations, it's like drawing a schematic. This is the lost base practice. Now what are the various work outputs? Of course the software detailed design. Next is the software unit, I mean the unit individual software component. Next is the communication record, review record, and of course the traceability record. Now this communication record, review record, traceability record are common outputs for all the SWE practices. But as I said, in a spice company, all this documentation is extremely important. If at all you are a tier 1 company and you are trying to become a supplier of a reputed OEM, all this documentation is important, because OEM, when they come to audit your company, they will see if all this documentation is meticulous or not. Because only if this documentation is meticulous, then they will certify your company as a spice 2 or a spice 3 company. Okay, thank you.